Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could teach the gullible to never be so comfortable with lies they eat like comfort food, to disregard the bogus claims and pseudoscientific claims? Can you imagine just how much indeed the world would change? No more political predators playing on the populace, but ilkas and plots to shift and kill metropolis. No more villains with the title in the Bible, holding phony temper Bibles like the stuff they teach is vital. Imagine it was normal to have to prove a claim you make, and folks really feel ashamed expressing content that was fake. It's not to say we never make mistakes, it's just to say we go out of our way to show the evidence it takes.
Remain skeptical while you travel the road, the reason stay strapped with logic and facts. That's what it is, yo. Keep reality intact to help the truth grow. Question every claim, especially the ones you believe in. Remain skeptical while you travel the road, the reason.
The Road to Reason, the Skeptic's Guide to the 21st Century. I'm Stephanie Gatormson, your host, and this is Tiffany Harding, my co-host. Say hi, Tiffany. Say
hi
to all
Tiffany.
the people.
Hi, all the people. Hi, it's Tiffany.
Fantastic.
Try to be.
How have you been? How's your New Year? I haven't seen you in ever.
I know, it's been going, New Year's been going pretty good.
All right.
You know, trying to get everything started, and I want to do more to volunteer and help out with the show. So that's what I'm trying to steer my year this year.
So she's here today. Yay.
Right.
I also understand that you're going to lead off our news.
Okay, yes, I'm going to lead off the news today. Unless you've been trapped in a wildlife reserve in the middle of nowhere, then you might have heard about a certain family that have hauled themselves up and have taken over federal property in protest of something to do with cattle ranching. So what a lot of people don't know, and of course we've all heard this story, but what a lot of people don't realize is the Mormon connection with the Bundys and what they're doing. So actually Ammon Bundy, the son, that name comes from the Book of Mormon. So does Cliven. And they believe that, and they claim that they have rights over lands because the Mormons, back in the 1880s, worked it before the Federal Bureau of Land Management was even started. And if you start to Google, their beliefs and their politics, you're going to find some really interesting mesh. And it's actually quite fascinating. So I would say check that out. Google Bundys and Mormonism to find out more about why they feel that what they're doing is justified by their religion. That's why he keeps saying, the Lord told me to do this and God, blah, blah, blah. Next, it's crazy. Check it out, trust me. Two skeptic eyebrows up.
That's incredible. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until she told me today.
It's really creepy.
So the next piece of news is that a $58 million lawsuit brought against Richard Dawkins has finally it's finally over, which is fun. Now, if you didn't know about this lawsuit, I don't blame you. Not a lot of people did. It wasn't reported a lot in our circles because it was so frivolous. The lawsuit essentially concerns one thing that Richard had said in 1989 in a New York Times article, in which he says, quote, "It is absolutely safe to say that if you meet somebody who claims to not believe in evolution, that person is either ignorant, stupid, or insane, or wicked, but I'd rather not consider that," end quote.
So almost 30 years ago?
Almost 30 years ago. Now this guy, I'm just going to call him by his last name, Dahlstrom. Mr. Dahlstrom filed a lawsuit in June claiming that this sentence said almost 30 years ago harmed him, etc. And he sued for $52 million. So that was fun.
There's two skeptic eyebrows up right there.
I know, right? It's adorable. But
how did he say that it harmed him?
Because he wrote a book 24 years later about creationism, and thought he was said to his book says that he really got to debunk evolution. Like he really got to the core of it and debunk Darwinism, which of course he didn't. Obviously, but he was saying that sentence had was directed at him, even though it couldn't have been, and things like that. It was pretty crazy.
So the coincidence of having 52 million, that's because of his pain and anguish, and what happened?
I don't know.
A lot of money.
I really don't know where they came to $52 million. I wish I could tell you guys. But that's over. Yay. Go us. It's over. We don't have to deal with it anymore.
Oh, it's just interesting, and it's an opinion. It's an opinion. It's not like what he said from something 30 years ago from a book written 20 years later. It's so interesting. I love a frivolous lawsuit. Love a good frivolous lawsuit. I know some people understand more than others.
I may have had a lawsuit against me at one point.
May have had, a little sort of a frivolous thing.
Sure.
But it's all over now. So we're moving on. You want to move on with the news too?
I think we should move on.
All right. So, unless you've been living in a family with 20 other children, you might have heard about a man named Bill Gothard, Dr. Bill Gothard, who is the head of the what's called the Institute in Basic Life Principles, which is the homeschooling program that was popular among the Duggar family of TLC fame, that rose to fame because their own rather literal interpretation of Christianity allows them to have so many children. And they had specials and television shows portraying their gigantic family of like 19 children. Last summer, the eldest was caught or exposed for having molested.
Caught's probably the...
Caught.
Yeah.
For having molested girls, including his sisters, years ago, Mr. Josh Duggar, and then he found out he had an Ashley Madison account. So, I mean, it's quite surprising that someone who was raised with this homeschooling program might have an issue understanding bodily autonomy and girls. Well, it turns out that Bill Gothard, the person that basically founded their homeschooling technique, is being sued by 10 different women for sexual assault. This man was asked to step down from the headship of the IBLP, but because 30 women, and they don't say if these are the same women, 30 women came out with sexual misconduct allegations against this man. And the Quiverful movement and the Independent Baptist sect that really follow him, they may have some real deep soul searching to do, especially if this is the man that's teaching their sons and daughters how to handle sexuality in themselves. So it's very interesting. Keep an eye on that.
I can already hear the excuse, though. It was God's will that He put us to these tribulations so that we could, really make sure that our faith was strong. It was just a test, you see.
It was just a test. And then what about the victim blaming? These women, they must have done something.
It's their fault.
Yeah, they must have
Clearly.
done something wrong. They actually had, I don't know if you remember, Elizabeth Smart, the young girl who was kidnapped,
right,
and how she was taught that if you lose your virginity, you're like a chewed piece of gum, and that's one of the reasons why she didn't come out when she was kidnapped, because she thought she wasn't good anymore. This is the teachings, at least I believe so.
Some of them.
Some of them are. They come from this, and it's a sexual dysfunction that makes horrible stories like this happen.
Let's switch gears for a second so we can wrap up our news here.
Right on.
We have the Reason Rally coming up on June 4th. The Reason Rally is going to be super, super fun. They have great speakers lined up already, like Babe and Cara Santa Maria, James Randi, Richard Dawkins, Eugenie Scott. It looks like they've added a couple more. We've got Paul Provenza, and we have Lawrence Krauss, and there's going to be more to be announced soon. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Are you going to go? I'm going.
Of course I went. I went to the last one.
You should go.
I had so much fun.
And if you want to go to the Reason Rally, you can go to reasonrally.org to register and get more info.
So if you're in this area, I say come on down. Last time...
If you're not in this area, come on down. It's going to be a party. Let's do it.
Yeah, use any means necessary. It's going to be fun. I remember distinctly feeling it was the happiest because I could be open, and my face hurt so much toward the end of the day from smiling so much. I mean, really, it felt great. No, seriously, I couldn't stop smiling. It was like a dream come true. I loved it. Meeting other people who were just like me.
Speaking of meetings, I came to do the show today, and I was supposed to be at a clairvoyant meeting.
Yeah.
Earlier in the day, like earlier this morning.
Right.
But that meeting was canceled. Yeah.
Why?
Unforeseen circumstances.
The clairvoyant meeting was canceled. cancel because of unforeseen circumstances. Oh my God. So
Sorry.
The lottery is up to $1.3 billion.
Yep. This will be, I predict, here we go, I'm going to put my psychic hat on now. I predict no psychic will win the $1.3 billion.
I think her prediction is sound. What does it say in my palm? Does it say the same thing?
Let's see. This line represents gullibility. This line represents not being able to understand statistics.
Right.
And this line means you're screwed.
Okay. So that means my palm says I'm not going to win the lottery either.
Yes.
It's going to be...
I'm good at palm reading, guys. I really
There's
am.
a lot of this sort of thing that gets me. And this is what we're going to talk about a little later on in the show. But
Yeah, we're going to call a few people.
Yeah,
now, the show might get really kind of because we're calling people cold, but it'll be fun.
We have lots of interesting things to talk about, and especially the fact that it's 2015 and people still call psychics. People still believe in palm readings.
But even more than that, they leave reviews, and we'll get to that.
Oh yes,
We're going to get to that.
If you ever wanted a Yelp review, you look at your favorite restaurant or whatever kind of business, people leave reviews for psychics. And if you don't believe us, we got some things to read to you later on.
They're good. So we're going to take a quick break so that the PSAs can do their thing. And when we return, we're going to start calling a couple of interesting places.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
So we'll see you in a minute.
Homemade noodles. Marty, stop it. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It reminds me. I've been thinking maybe we should try a new form of birth control. I heard about this one. It's called the IUD, intrauterine device. Or we could try the patch on your arm. Actually, I think that one goes in your butt.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
What do you think, then? Arm or the butt?
There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
This is Richard Dawkins. Doing commercials is unfamiliar territory for me, but I'm inviting you to watch Road to Reason, a skeptic's guide to the 21st century, on Fairfax Public Access every Sunday. Each week the hosts tackle wishful thinking, religion, pseudoscience, and the harm they cause, with a combination of facts, humor, and community involvement. They challenge believers to defend their faith and give you, the skeptic, a voice. With live call-ins for viewers and streaming on the World Wide Web, there's never a dull moment. Don't wait. Look at them now on Facebook and YouTube. And remember to watch Road to Reason, a skeptic's guide to the 21st century, or there'll be hell to pay.
A critical thinker is in a frame of mind of always questioning everything, including things they don't necessarily want to question. You may have done some research and satisfied yourself on a position you're sure is right. Good. Now, after a month or two of that, go look at some research that opposes your point of view or challenges the position you've taken. You can even look into it with the idea of poking holes in their arguments if you want, but it would be better to just have an open mind and read it as though you'd never heard or seen anything on the issue before. You may be very surprised what you learn, and if you're doing this right, you will be. Always be open to opposing points of view and counter arguments. That's what critical thinking is all about. And now you know.
Welcome back, everyone. We are so happy you could join us again. I know those PSAs are long, but
I missed you so much.
you stuck around and you stuck through it. So right before we went to break, we mentioned that we're going to make some phone calls, but we're going to wait on that for just a minute. I know we're teasing you a little bit, but Tiffany, why don't you explain kind of what's going to happen for the rest of the day?
So, like I said earlier, I said 2015. Oh my God, it's 2016. I didn't even see it.
It's a whole other year.
It's a whole other year. it's 2016 and people still read the horoscope. People still call psychics. And how do we know that people still call psychics? Because we found a bunch of Yelp reviews of psychics in the area, and they are very telling, very, very interesting, and very ironic. In a way, what you see, some of the things that we're going to tell you. So, this first one we have.
I don't think we're going to name names.
No, we're not going to name any names.
It's be anonymous.
But we'll just say this person, Kay, left this comment 2 years ago for a certain psychic in Northern Virginia. This lady is a fraud and a cheat person. I went to her for a palm reading, and all she told me was from random guessing. I asked her, how many children shall I have? And she pointed to the center of my palm and said, children lines are here. Well, I have been reading palm reading books for a while, and I know that marriage lines are on the side of the hand, just under the little finger, and the children lines are vertical lines on the marriage lines. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She charged me $20 for a palm reading. The money gone to the dogs. So stay away from this place and save your money.
I am not surprised by anything said there at all.
No.
Because first of all, the commenter's right. I mean, the child line are totally...
are vertical to the marriage line.
They're perpendicular, and then when they intersect the child lines, when Mercury rises during the age of Aquarius, like you have so many.
I mean, I guess it gives it's a religious thing. It gives comfort in a faith and like not having actual science on why this works. But if you think the creases in your hand are going to tell you how many children have. You know, then you deserve to lose $20. That's what I think. I mean, maybe I sound arrogant, but seriously,
a little bit. I'm the slightly more. This is coming from me. The slightly more compassionate of the two of us, in the sense that I know that people. I know people can be fooled. Our last guest who does his own show about critical thinking. Used to be a Scientologist. People can change.
It's true. People can change, but
you gotta stop being so gullible. We're just trying to tell you that critical thinking is a good idea, and these are why we'll read one more before we.
I want to read more. There's so many
good ones, but I want to read one in particular, and then we'll get to calling a couple people. And there's one place I want to call in particular, and I don't want to give them too much advertising. I'll let you know what they are in a second. This is for another psychic. This is for a psychic in Washington, D.C. I believe, yep. Right there on Wisconsin Avenue.
How many stars did she get?
But 1 star from a reviewer in Arlington, Virginia. This is short, so. I spent too much money and too much time believing her and her promises about getting me back together with my ex. It didn't work, and it's a total scam. Be careful.
The fact that she says be careful is indicative that she thinks that there are psychics out there that actually do work. You know what I mean? Like, be careful. This is the bad one. You know, this is the 1-star psychic. Go to a 5-star psychic. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why would you say be careful?
I don't know. Like, that doesn't even make sense, like, at all.
I mean, there's no proof. I mean, to get you back with your ex, is this a psychic, like, trying to see into the past or future? Or is she a witch, or what is this? I don't understand. I don't understand. No, you're more compassionate than me. I have no patience for him.
No, of course. I mean, I get where you're coming from. But there's also people that do this kind of stuff, like, there's also chiropractors out there. They exist. Yeah. A lot of people believe that their stuff works. Like, a lot of people believe chiropractic works. Like, too many. Yeah. So
it's not medicine.
Now, why am I bringing this up? I've done shows on chiropractic before, so why am I bringing it up again?
Right.
There was a television commercial for a chiropractor here in Northern Virginia. It's called what is it? Like new laser therapy of.
This is Star Trek.
Laser Spine Associates. That's what it was. And I want to get them on the phone, so if we can start dialing them, that would be awesome.
Nothing says power like a laser in your spine.
Yeah.
That'll get you going.
So their basic claim is that they can treat with these lasers. Here we go. I'll just list them: spinal arthritis, canal stenosis, degenerative disc disease.
Ladies,
Yes, God.
this is God.
God's calling us.
A listing for New Life Laser. Is that who you're referring to?
That is who I'm referring to. Can we get them on the line?
Well, God is somewhat illiterate. Somebody wrote down 1-800-PAIN-FREE, but didn't actually write down the phone number.
That is the phone number. That's the phone number.
You're going to have to give God a moment. I'm somewhat challenged with technology. My values, belief systems are about 2,000 years old, so I'm just trying to catch up, so just bear with me.
We'll bear with you.
Yeah, bear with you.
While God is reading that, I'm going to continue with the things that they say they can cure with this.
With what though? Like literally lasers.
Like literally, to my eyes, to my now, I could be wrong. I am very willing to be wrong here, but it looks like at most it's a flashlight, and I would go so far as to maybe say it's an infrared flashlight, but it looks just like a warm flashlight. And they say they can. So we left off with degenerative disc disease before God interrupted us. We got disc extrusion, disc protrusion, facet joint syndrome, failed back surgery syndrome, foraminal stenosis. I'm probably like totally screwing that up. Herniated disc, prolapsed disc, slip disc, sciatica. And spondylitis and spondylitis.
It looks like it says spongiitis.
I actually have one of these conditions. No, I do. I actually do have like a herniated disc in my lower back. So this would sound like something I should do, except I'm a skeptic and I looked into it. They also do neck and other, and this is some of the other things that they say they can cure. Annular tear, bone spurs, collapsed disc, cervical
Radiculoplasty.
I don't think that there's an L there.
Oh no, it's ridiculous. Ridiculoplasty. Yes. I'm sorry.
Radiculopathy, pinch nerve, whiplash, carpal tunnel syndrome, tennis elbow, plantar fasciitis, and other sports injuries.
So I mean, do they say is this like FDA thing, or is this like a?
Oh, they have treatment options.
I think the phone is ringing.
Phone is ringing.
Oh, you girl.
We're just waiting for them to pick up their phone. No? Cool. So they have robotic laser therapy, deep tissue laser therapy, and disc decompression. Here's a few things. First, the disc decompression thing has a lot to do with chiropractic, and there's no real, I haven't seen any hard evidence to support it. I know people say they feel better afterwards, but the problem with their backs isn't that they're compressed, it's that they were designed poorly for standing upright, because we evolved from monkeys that walked on 4 legs. Hear the phone ringing? Phone is ringing. We're waiting to see. Maybe they don't work on Sundays.
Hello, this is Dr. White. How can I help?
Hi, Dr. White. This is Stephanie Gatormson. I'm calling from Road to Reason, and you are on the air live. I just wanted to ask you a few questions, if you would be so kind.
Hey there. Actually, I need to know who you are. What's that?
My name is Stephanie, and I'm calling from the show Road to Reason.
All right.
I wanted to just ask you a couple questions, Dr. White, about the laser therapy that you offer.
No, actually, I'm watching the football game, man. Why aren't you watching the playoffs?
So I'm a little confused. So in wanting to talk to you about your laser therapy, you'd rather watch football.
Yeah, actually, feel free to call me Monday. Like hours of 9 and 3.
I see. Just real quick, while I have you, and since obviously the laser stuff would be a lot to ask us, could you tell me where you went to medical school? Oh, I think we lost him. I think we lost Mr. Dr. White. Here's the thing. You'll notice that he was very, very, very reluctant to talk to us. Especially when asking about the lasers. I want you to take note of the fact that, look, if it worked, he would just he would be very, very quick to be like, all right, well, here's all the stuff. Instead, he obfuscated and wanted to talk about the fact that there were football games on, and then hung up on me when I asked him what his medical credentials were. You saw it, I simply asked him, where did you go to medical school? Now, he's not going to answer the question, but his website does, so I'm going to tell you where Dr. White went to school. Dr. White I shouldn't call him a doctor because he's not a doctor. Mr. White has been a chiropractor in private practice for 29 years. He's the founder and president of Laser Spine Associates. Dr. White has owned and operated a pain management medical practice, New Life Laser of Northern Virginia, and multiple alternative healthcare clinics. Well, isn't that
I don't
pretty?
like the word alternative health.
Right. There's science-based health, and then there's everything else.
Right.
Dr. White, now this is the part that makes me laugh because what he says here is great. Mr. White graduated summa cum laude from Chowan University and did his undergraduate studies at George Mason University and earned a Doctor of Chiropractic from Palmer University. Now, I went and I looked up and said, oh, I've never heard of Palmer University. Maybe it could have been private. There's plenty of private higher institutions. So I said, okay, let's go look. When you Google Palmer University doesn't come up. Now, people might know me to be slightly pedantic. I'll get there as to why the word university is so important. Palmer College of Chiropractic, which is where he went, is not a university. And if you don't know, the word university is kind of highly regarded amongst educated people,
right?
Or people that have gone to college or know anything about it, because the difference between college and university is vastly different, especially in a resume.
Right.
And that main difference has to do with the offering of master's degrees and master programs and higher,
right,
and doctorates and so forth. A college of chiropractic, by definition, can't offer those things.
Right.
Mainly because such a master's program would have to be accredited, etc. There's a lot that goes in. You can't just say, I have a master's program. There has to be more behind it.
I didn't know this.
There has to be more behind a master's program than just saying you have a master's program. Now, to say that he got a doctorate is a little inflating. He inflated a little bit. Not only did he inflate the prestige of his education, he's also inflating the prestige of his actual degree.
So we actually called his house, or what was that?
No, we called 1-800 pain
wow,
free.
It's crazy. Why did he himself answer the phone? That's what gets me.
Hey, look, I wanted to know about his laser treatment. I was up front and I said, you're on a recorded line, and I want to ask you about your laser therapy. This was an opportunity for him, albeit a little bit, surprising.
Right.
Where he could have said, oh, I'm glad you asked.
Right.
Here's how our lasers work. But instead, he did not. He did not take the opportunity to answer.
Well, put it this way. Like, when it comes to medicine and real science and medicine, you can have a laser treatment, if you want one. It's a free country. But don't tell me it's science. Don't pretend that it's actually medicine that's going to hurt. That's actually going to help you get your disc put back. And no, you need surgery for that sort of thing. You need actual doctors. If these lasers actually worked, whoever invented them would be given the Nobel Prize.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
And it's not like we're trying to denigrate. It's like, don't call yourself a doctor if you're not.
Seriously.
Because there's people out there who are scared and who really want answers.
And it should be said that a doctor of chiropractic is none of those things. You're not a doctor. The reason, he's not a medical doctor. They have to say DC in their name.
Right.
And they use the term doctor specifically to give themselves more prestige than they actually have.
If I'm scared and I'm having back problems, I would look and I see that doctor there. And my eyes are going to be drawn right to it. Mm-hmm. And I want to go to someone I believe is going to help alleviate my pain.
I also wanted to point out that the reason that we called them is because I saw an advertisement for them here locally. Mm-hmm. And their commercial was kind of dangerous as far as I'm concerned, and I think they should be investigated for this. They said that their treatments eliminate eliminate the need for drugs and surgery. For the list of things I read you, most of those things require some level of doctor-supervised medication,
Right.
and doctor-supervised, well, not doctor-supervised because it's surgery, but surgery. Sorry, just keep repeating myself.
I mean, it's things like this is why Steve Jobs is dead. You know, he had a very rare form of cancer, and he thought that alternative medicine would help him. This is true. Look it up. Google it. It's there. And he eschewed, you know, medical cancer treatments because he didn't think they were good. And they say he would have probably lived a lot longer if he had gone the traditional route. It's dangerous, I think. The alternative medicine, call it whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to sell meat, right? If I was going to sell you a burger and I put meat on it, 100% meat, but I didn't say what kind of meat it was, would you buy it?
No.
All right.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, sorry. Don't call it if you're not offering it. That's all I'm saying.
Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's see if Paul can't get us.
I want to read another psychic review.
We're going to. But first, I want to see if Paul can get us get us a psychic on the phone. Now, the psychic should know we're calling. But just in case, we're going to let them know who we are.
Apparently, there's lots of different kinds of psychics.
So here's another review for.
You do one, and I want the one. 'Cause
All
they're
right.
hilarious.
I'm just going to read short ones.
Okay.
But it's, let's see, awful. Why did I get talked into going back? Which, of course, implies this person went once before. That's not entertainment.
Oh.
She wanted me to sell personal items to generate
Hello,
cash.
Psychic Shop.
Hi, this is Stephanie. I'm calling from Road to Reason. You're live on the air. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about your services.
Okay.
Really quick, how does your psychic ability work?
That's a good question. Why don't you tell me?
She said, why don't you tell me? That was clever.
No, are they gone? Are they gone, Paul? They're out? Okay.
The response was, that is a good question. Why don't you tell me? Click.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
They're so in tune with their own psychic abilities that they
Look,
need you to tell them.
All I'm saying, the whole reason I want to do this is to show you guys
I
that
didn't foresee their sarcasm is what
people who have actual abilities, people who come up with new forms of treatment, they don't hide behind paywalls.
No.
They don't put commercials out on TV.
No.
They want you to, the people who do that say you should go to a doctor and see if whatever I invented is, if it's right for your condition.
Right. And
they never go right to the patients. You've never seen an actual doctor do that.
Right.
Ever. They never come knocking on your door.
And then with the psychics, it's all about wordplay and then playing with people's minds. Like, you ever heard of cold reading?
Of course I have.
You know, and that sort of thing. When somebody is desperately wanting answers, which made John Edward, that man, this is back in the early 2000s, late 90s. He had a show called Crossing Over.
Yep.
Remember, he thought he could talk. That sort of thing really got into my craw, especially because it was early in my journey into skepticism. When he said that he could talk to dead relatives and things like that. People who really wanted answers. You know what I mean? People who are really suffering. And he said, I could talk to your dead ancestors. And then he had this big, huge show on TV. And what you didn't know is that they were filling out cards, information cards at the beginning of the show. And they were placed strategically in the audience. And then John was fed information. And it's so offensive to me. And these people are still working. And it's 2016. I know I keep saying that. You know, you have the world in your palm, right? You have a computer in your hand, and you still want to go to mysticism and psychics to answer your questions. It's like it gets two skeptic eyebrows raised.
That's to kind of echo that point slightly. Do you know what these things are capable of?
Right.
Like these phones are magic by any other measure.
Absolutely.
They are magical by any other measure of technology now or ever. Like you don't have to go back very far with one of these devices to be in a situation where you would be called a witch or just all sorts of things. You don't have to go back far. You may have to go 200 years, maybe. Like, you don't have to go far.
You burn at the stake.
And humans have been around as a species for almost, what did they say,
100,000 years?
Let's do what Chris does, what Hitch does. Hitch says, give me 100,000. That's all I need.
Give me 100,000 years.
So out of 100,000 years, the last maybe, 10?
Yeah.
We've had this technology in our hands, and we don't use it.
We don't use it, and we're still in that mindset where it's not up to me, it's up to something else. And even though I have the entirety of human knowledge in my hand, really, if I wanted to find it, I could find it. You still go to these psychics. Can I read one?
Yes.
I want to read it. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to read another review for a psychic. Only got 1 star from Yelp. Right? I'm going to do this one.
Yep.
Okay. So Rita said, first I sat down. She said a few things, and I believed in those. But later, she started adding things based on my response. It's okay to go to these places for fun, but there's no such thing as cleaning with crystals, whatever that means.
Clearing.
Clearing with crystals. Let me get my glasses here. Clearing with crystals. What does that mean? So I paid $120 because she asked for it to clear my path, and later she called and asked for another $200. Don't waste money on these things. The only reason I'm writing this review is because I don't want anyone to become the victim and lose money like I did.
That, I actually have a little bit more. I really feel for that person because they went in, they heard some things, they paid the money and went, wow, that wasn't true.
Right.
And instead of just saying, oh, well, that person may not have gotten it. Maybe someone else knows. Mm-hmm. They said, no, this stuff is nonsense. And I like her review because it's honest. I know that, or whoever this person was duped at some point.
Absolutely.
But the honesty should be like, I was wrong.
I'm mad.
This person was a waste of money. That's good.
$320. That's a car payment. You know what I mean? What?
Psychics got to pay for their cars too.
Oh my God. Yeah, obviously, and they're doing it. I'm sorry, I'm just so mad right now.
It's okay.
My psychic eyebrows are. Going crazy here.
Let's see if we can get another say. Let's try for a chiropractor.
Oh Lord!
If Paul's got a chiropractor on the list.
Think the chiropractors are going to be open on a Sunday? I hope so.
Mr. White was.
That's true. He was watching a football game in the office, apparently.
Hey.
On the line, go straight to his home. That was the weirdest. I didn't expect he himself to answer the phone.
Do you know? I wonder if psychics have Wi-Fi.
Why? Why do you say that?
I would assume they don't, though, because they don't want to compete with an invisible power that actually works.
I've heard this one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Heard that one.
Very, very relevant to what's going on right now.
I've heard that in relation to churches. Churches don't have Wi-Fi, but it works just as well for them.
Yeah.
Because hey, I love asking chiropractors for their medical credentials. I'm sorry. One more time. You were breaking up a little bit there. Could you repeat that?
Say it wrong. Nope, they hung up.
We got hung up. That was our fault.
What is this phone from the 18th century?
Seriously.
Oh, that's what we're talking about technology.
We did warn you to be choppy because we're trying to cold call places.
Yeah.
So here goes the phone again.
It's all you, girlfriend.
I just have to hear them actually say words and enunciate them without them break it up, and then I can respond. It's fun. My goodness, some of these reviews are just heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's sad. That could have been okay.
So while we're waiting,
wait, hold on.
I know.
Hi, you've reached the Healing Tree in Alexandria, Virginia. We offer therapeutic massage 7 days a week, as well as chiropractic, acupuncture, and psychotherapy services. To reach Dr. Cynthia Dawkins directly, please call her cell phone at 703-963-0870.
You want to give that?
Please leave us a message and we'll call you back shortly.
Oh, she wasn't.
Oh, she wasn't there.
They wanna
But they
leave
said
her
they were
phone
open
number. Yeah.
on Yelp. They said they were open.
That's true. They did say on Yelp, which is funny when you get a Yelp review.
You were speaking to her the first time, and I think she got wise and doesn't want to answer her phone.
Oh, I see.
Aw,
Okay.
boo.
Oh, well.
Oh, we blew that one. Sorry, guys. Here's another good review. Told my friends and I all pretty much the exact same thing in a palm reading. I didn't believe a word she said, and she got things completely wrong about my life.
I wonder why that happened.
I wonder why someone who doesn't know anything about your life is going to get everything wrong. It's crazy.
Do we got another one?
We're getting there.
It's got one skeptic eyebrows up right now.
Oh my goodness. I knew the show was going to be kind of rough to watch because it's hard to line these people up for obvious reasons. They don't want to talk to skeptics because they're going to ask really difficult questions.
Well, we wouldn't be skeptics if we weren't afraid to ask the questions.
Exactly. This is just fun.
Hello?
Hi, this is Stephanie, and this is Road to Reason, and you're on live TV right now. I wanted to ask you a couple questions about your practice.
Well, that was quick. You want to try back?
No.
I think they're just like, oh, live TV.
No.
Was that a chiropractor or a psychic?
Doesn't matter.
That was a chiropractor.
Very nice.
It doesn't matter at this point. No. And I got a feeling that it's make your money how you want. You know what I mean? It's kind of sad. Oh, that one. One more review of a psychic. Okay.
This is the same psychic, by the way.
It's the same one?
Well,
and the thing about it, this psychic that we're reading from, we're not going to tell you who it is, or it doesn't really matter. A lot of 1-star, but even more 5-star reviews for some reason. But we're going to read a 5-star review next. So this is a 1-star review. Huge disappointment. I spent $90 for a full psychic reading. Crystal not only missed the mark in describing past and present situations, she provided little insight into the most basic future predictions around marriage and children. A good portion of the reading involved her asking me questions which would aid her subsequent yet vague predictions. I use Yelp quite a bit, and the 2 positive reviews before me gave me peace of mind in my decision to see this person. However, given my starkly different experience, I wanted to post a review in the hopes that it will save someone else from being scammed.
This is why we do these shows, is because of, not because of comments like that, but like the sentiment behind comments like that.
Yeah.
We don't want to just post reviews on Yelp, though. We want to just remind you and educate the public that these people are frauds, these people are scam artists, and whatever other useful skills they have in life, they're not putting them to proper use.
I always wonder if they believe their own hype. You know what I mean? Do you get a business license saying I'm a chiropractor or I'm a psychic, and you really know that you're not? You know, you know what I'm trying to say.
I do, and I have a hard time thinking that people are. Now I'm cynical. Don't get me wrong. If you know me in real life, I am cynical.
What?
But I don't think people are quite that what we would call evil.
Right.
There are some. No, there are some. I didn't know. I said there are some.
Right.
But given how many of these people there are, just the sheer amount of them, I think again some of these people fall into that. Oh well, it must work because, and they have a lot of reasons.
Right.
Not good ones, but they have a lot of the same reasons that say a religious person might have to believe what they believe.
Right.
And they've built all this up. and they went and did all this work and did all this schooling. Kind of like we were talking about last week with Scientology. They get invested in a belief, and they continue to invest in it and continue to invest in it to the point that, let's say they've completed chiropractic school now and they spent however much money that costs.
Right.
They're now going to go, well, I don't want my time to be wasted.
Right.
This has to work. Like, it's that psychology. And
so, like, I was scammed first, so I might as well keep going with it?
I don't know that they think they're scammed, though. Like, because let's put it this way. They might think that there was something to it at first. Maybe like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. And they started reading about it. When you get into situations like this, where a lot of the positive is controlled and, oh, these other people are lying, they're coming, like, they get to a point where they start to control what you hear.
Right.
And maybe not all the time.
Like an echo chamber.
A little bit. Yeah. They and for something like chiropractic, since it's not a cult, they don't control you at home, they don't control your thoughts.
Right.
But as far as putting you in the mindset of everyone else is lying to you, chiropractic works, chiropractic is real, like
and
those
big
kind of things.
pharma and da-da-da. See, it's all anti-science.
Right.
All of this stuff comes down to an anti-science bias, and I find. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying now. So
that's why I'm hard on the people that are doing it, because
you know what you're doing.
They know what they're doing. I feel a lot of compassion for what they call the patients of these people.
So it seems
sad.
like for me, 'cause I'm such a skeptic, I have no patience for them. I'd be like, you spent $320, you spent $90 on this. You should have done your research.
Of course, but if they're desperate, how much time do you have for research?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I know.
You're right.
know.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but you gotta.
It's frustrating. I get it.
Where's personal responsibility?
No, that's the thing. But like, we're not all perfect. There's been plenty of skeptics that have been fooled and duped by a lot of things.
That's true.
And the biggest thing that the biggest reason skeptics get fooled is because they say, I'm a skeptic, I can't be fooled. I'm too smart.
Okay.
I'm too smart to be fooled. You see?
Okay. That's why smart people join cults. I'm not joining
a cult. This is based on science. This is based on.
It's got the word science in the title. Scientology.
That was the topic last week.
Oh, see, it's got the word science right there. Yeah. But it all comes down to psychics, chiropractors, that sort of thing. It comes from an anti-science bias and maybe a fear of maybe the world isn't as mystical and magical as I thought it was, and that's a depressing thought.
It is.
That's what their mindset is. Well, if you feel that way, it's gonna cost you what, $320?
Just about.
No.
I forget who it was that said this, but don't be so let's try this again. Don't be so open-minded that your brain falls out.
I like that.
I love it.
It really does frustrate me.
I want to see, we only have about 10 minutes left, so I want to see if Paul wouldn't mind trying to get one or two more people on the phone for us.
I'm sad.
And while he's doing that.
So we're going to try Miss Natalie.
Oh, are we? Good, because we have some reviews from her.
Okay.
And while you're calling her, the first review I'm going to read is 2 stars. So it's.
I think this is a troll review.
It might be, but it's funny. It's 2 stars,
and
it says, quote, almost 6 years later, ... I'm not married and not rich, LOL, period. I couldn't say it better. I'm sorry, that's brilliant.
Here's one. Did the $30 tarot card reader back in May and left Natalie of Georgetown confused out of my mind. None of it made sense.
And I was really disappointed.
Okay.
Waiting for Miss Natalie.
Hello.
Hi, is this Miss Natalie?
It is.
Hi, this is Stephanie. I'm calling with Road to Reason. You're live on the air. I wanted to ask you a couple questions about your practice.
Well, I'm so sorry, but I'm very busy now.
Didn't you know we were calling?
No.
But you're a psychic though. You should. How did you not know we were calling?
She sounded like a sweet old lady.
She might be.
But still, she charges money to tell people stuff they want to hear.
Well, look, I haven't gotten to the one question I wanted to ask these psychics all day because I can never get that far because they would hang up in the middle of my question. But just so you know, just not leaving you hanging, if anyone saw Mad TV some years ago, you can Google it. Mad TV did this really great skit with Miss Cleo.
Call me down for your free reading.
Exactly.
She wasn't even Jamaican.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyways, they did a skit on Mad TV where they had one of the characters call.
Right.
And the character says, "Were you working on September the 10th, 2001? You didn't see anything important happen the next day? Nothing?"
No. You haven't won the Powerball?
Seriously, the Powerball's 1.3 million. You ever notice?
$1 billion.
No psychics?
No.
I got Dr. Ginger Lau's medical hokum.
I don't want to.
This is chiropractor.
This is gonna make my stomach hurt. I don't want to do this.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh God.
This is gonna be great. So this is chiropractor.
I know.
So I have her stuff on my phone. We're calling Dr. Ginger Low. Is that what he said? I hope so. Anyway, so without a bunch of dead air. Oh, good. Well, the phone's ringing. There's no one home.
It's Sunday. They're probably out.
Hi, you've reached Dr. Ginger Lowe. I'm sorry I've missed your call. Please leave your name and number, and I will return your call.
All right, nobody's home.
Boo, no one's home.
Oh, well.
Because it's Sunday.
I got one more. We'll try Dr. Eric Berg.
Eric Berg, is he a chiropractor?
Yes. That's the first one on the list.
He's actually kind of an internet celebrity. He's a Scientologist who got slammed a few years back in Virginia for medical malpractice. Lost his license temporarily.
Very nice. Let's call him. Oh, so this is the Dr. Eric Berg that comes up for injury chiropractic care. Nice. He's Dr.
It's all you. I don't want to talk to these people. They infuriate me.
It says he's closed today, but we'll see.
Infuriating. It really is. To me, it's infuriating.
Dr. Berg understands that healthy weight loss is fast weight loss because no doctor ever has ever said that.
No.
In fact, they say that if you lose weight too fast, it's bad.
No, it's like because the actual way is too difficult, and we're instant.
I don't think we're going to get anyone on this one. Let's see that we're closed on Yelp. That's no good.
The Health and Wellness Center can't take your call now. After the tone.
I'll put it this way. When I think about the time and money, people can. No, it's like I said. It's fear. It's fear. I think, and it's. I don't want to think that the world is really this ugly, and I don't want to do my cancer treatment. Because it makes my hair fall out. But this person said that he can rub mustard seeds on me and it'll cure me. That sounds much better. It
does. And that's the other thing is science there's science cures that are not always pleasant.
No.
Needles, a lot of people are scared of needles, no vaccines, they're scary. Surgery is not super comfortable most of the time. It's, there's a recovery process and it can be painful. Chemotherapy especially, because without mincing any words, it's essentially pumping your body full of poison, but it's a specific kind of poison to go after, like cancer and stuff.
Right.
Which is like, that's what it's for. Now, of course, it's going to wreak havoc on your body, but what you gotta remember is one of these things is effective, i.e. medical science, and the other is not. Because as Tim Minchin said, alternative medicine that has been proven to work is just medicine. And there is no better example than the one he gives in the song, or the poem Storm.
I loved him, Mitchell.
Where he says, he's talking about aspirin.
Right.
He's talking about aspirin. This girl says, "Oh, so you don't believe in any natural remedies?" And he says, "On the contrary, Storm. Before we came to tea, I took a remedy developed from the bark of a willow tree." And he says, "Oh, honey, I can't remember." He's talking to his wife now in this poem, and he says, "Honey, I can't remember the name of it. What was it again? Masprin? Basprin? Oh, yes, aspirin." Aspirin is probably one of the best examples of natural medicine being science-based medicine, and being, they're both natural.
Right.
Willow bark is where aspirin, the main ingredient for aspirin, comes from.
Right.
Except that it's really hard to ingest willow bark, from what I've heard. It's most of the time they used to make it into tea. As far as I understand, they boil it. But then someone figured out, we can just figure out what the chemical is and synthesize it and put it into chalky pills that don't taste very good, but will dissolve very quickly in your stomach with harmless.
You can just digest that chemical from the willow bark without complications to your tummy.
That's what I'm saying.
And it sounds horrible, but it's not.
It's not, no. And how they did that was with natural, what people like to call natural medicine, or natural means, or just anti-big pharma. It's
right. Real quick, I heard something I saw on the internet is do you like vitamin C or do you like riboflavin? Oh, I don't like riboflavin. It's the same thing. Like vitamin B12 or something like that.
It's vitamin B12.
Yeah, there it is. It's I wouldn't put that in my body. I wouldn't put the riboflavin in my body. That sounds terrible. Oh, but vitamin B12, yeah, I need that. Some people just, for real though.
The names of things can scare people.
It does sound
and one person, and if she ever watches this, I hope she does. If she ever does, Food Babe, you are a charlatan and you are a fake. You are a terrible person.
Seriously.
And you have no business saying things you do.
There's no such thing as a detox. Seriously.
There's no such thing as a detox, and quit telling people that if they can't pronounce it, they shouldn't eat it. That is beyond irritating.
Yeah.
Cut it out, all right?
Please.
Thank you.
Because you're making people sick.
Seriously.
All right, well, I think that's almost it for us.
It's almost there.
Yeah.
We got about 30 seconds-ish.
So I guess to say we'll see you next week. Always be skeptical and keep those skeptic eyebrows up.
Always. And my signing off will be a lot longer because I gotta fill up some time. So I would like to tell you to not only remain skeptical, but vigilantly so. Your wallet might depend on it.
Absolutely. And so I'm Tiffany Harding.
And I'm just some girl from around the way. I'm kidding.
Steffi from the block.
I'm Steffi from the block.
And I'm Tiffany from the high-rise apartments in the rich part of town.
Yeah, she wishes. I'm Stephanie Guitarson. You guys have an awesome day. This has been The Road to Reason.
Stay skeptical.